Okay, everyone. Settle down, settle down. What is up? Welcome, everyone. Yes, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Just got off work not too long ago. And seems like we have a lot of tabs open, so there's a couple things that we have to go through. This is Epic Universe Week. A lot of things are happening. It opens on Friday. They're doing some amazing things over there. So, you know, of course we got to go over that stuff. We're preparing for tomorrow. We do have a tomorrow stream at the parks. I don't know exactly what time, probably like 5 or 6 o'clock. Honestly, it's getting so hot now that I can't go during the day. It's like almost impossible, but we'll see. Tomorrow is definitely going to be a late afternoon stream, so like 5-6 o'clock until like 10 o'clock, something like that. We'll get the late night going. We're going to be at epcot, so we'll be over there. We're definitely going to ride Guardians, because that's my favorite ride. We're going to ride Guardians. That is self-explanatory, right? Let me fix this, because I know you guys are, I don't say complaining, but my mic sometimes is a little too far away, or I speak too softly sometimes, so it's just in a certain spot. I do probably eventually have to move it at some point, but I don't know if I want to move it on this side and have it be closer, so it's just a pain in the butt. Welcome in, everyone. Orange Grove, I see you, man. Appreciate you coming through. Tomorrowland Traveler, Sierra. And if any of you guys, you know, if any of you guys have time, or if you guys want to, you can always jump in and have a chat with us and everything. So you could definitely do that. Are we doing... Wait, what? What is that? Trig, sin, cosine, tangent? I'm confused. I'm sorry to say, I'm a little confused in that. It's a lot of like... Where's the... Let me make this bigger. Oh, it's a math joke. It divided. Is that what that's for? Is that what that means? Okay. Math was my favorite subject, but apparently not anymore. Tonight is tangent talk. Yes, it's not. I guess it's not really a tangent. It's just old man rant. Honestly, is really what it is. But yes, we'll go over all that. We'll go over a bunch of stuff here, and yes. So, how you guys doing? You guys doing all right? Everything going good with you guys? We got the Mario. Oh, he's green. Look. Luigi with the squeegee is green. So he's transparent. That's pretty funny. Oh, look who we got. We got Mark in the house.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Did you hear that?
Oh, hi, Mark.
You could barely hear that. Let's do it again.
Oh, hi, Mark.
That's so funny. I appreciate. Yeah, thank you, Sierra. Yeah, you know, I'll try to make it legit, right? I try to make it as legit as possible. I have a pet peeve about sound and the visuals and how I have things set up. Like, I like to be able, you know, I like having cameras. Like, I like when I'm watching someone that I can see them and see what they're doing at the same time. But also, I don't want like the whole screen just being the background itself, unless you know, it's like a big screen like this and I'm just talking to you. But when I go into small screen, I want to be able to crop me out, and that way there's more space on the screen for you guys to see. So that's what I've always liked green screens. Sometimes they can be a little pain in the butt, like this right here, you know, like that. So, but yeah, it works. It's fine. I like it. We're gonna try and get started here. Just give me a second here. Okay, now you heard that. Okay. All right, guys. All right, settle down, everyone. Let's get going here. We have a lot of things to go over, right? We have a lot to go over. So we're gonna put this here. Let's move this just a tad to there. Let's make this a little smaller. Okay. All right, perfect. Boom. Okay. So yes, welcome in everyone. There it is. Boom, boom, and boom. We're good to go here. So yes, you guys know what to do already. If you're in here, hit that like and sub button if you haven't already done so. And there's a lot to go over, man. There is really a lot to go over. Let me see if I can find the things that I need to find real quick. We can start with that. Okay, so we can start with that. Okay. Alrighty, so let's do this. All right, guys. So, like I said, Epic Universe is going to be officially opened in what, 3 days? Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days. It's the 22nd. It's 2 days. Why am I doing this, loser? 2 days. 2 days they're opening up, and they're already prepping for this week. Has been crazy for Epic Universe, because like I don't know why they do this, but I feel like they do too much during this last week, and not necessarily to like prep, but like they do a lot of recording stuff. They get a lot of like people, a lot of famous people showing up. They do like, you know, some crazy things, and you know, I just wish they would space it out a little more, right? But we're going to talk about this first, because this is a lot of big stuff that's happening. There is opening day things that are happening tomorrow, Wednesday. If I can find it, I'll double check. But tomorrow there's going to be the what is it, like Good Morning America and all that stuff. It's going to be showing up there, doing their stuff at very early. So let me see if I can find it too. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's just a lot of stuff. I'm sure it's on one of these blogs, but we'll get to it. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. First things first. Here we are. Epic Universe is opening up in just a day or two, depending on when you're seeing this. And they've announced the opening day logistics and the timing. all the celebratory things that they're going to be doing for the first day. And with that, they have gave us as much information as they can, what time the park is opening, what time the gates, parking, all that fun stuff. So as you know, they're opening this week. And so Thursday, May 22nd. Today is Tuesday. So in 2 days. All right. So the grand opening will not be that grand for the general public. Instead, the grand opening is a private party for media and invited VIPs that will take place tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? So, and today I'll show you a bunch of stuff that they did today. So the theme park is closed to the general public these 2 days. So today, so tomorrow and Thursday, closed completely to everyone. But they've announced that there will be brief celebratory moments for guests on opening day. And the theme park operator has also announced arriving timing logistics. So here we go. If you guys are planning on going, this is what's happening, right? So join us at 8 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, May 22nd for a brief celebratory moment as we open the portals to the worlds beyond anything you've experienced. I've experienced it twice. If you purchase a ticket to visit Epic Universe on opening day, here's everything you need to know. So this is opening day. Epic Universe Park will open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Not bad times. That's perfectly fine. It used to be 9 to 9, but they did let us know that they changed it because we told them it's bogus. The park, it doesn't get dark quick enough for the park to be open that early. So they let us till 10. Universal parking lot, including the ride share, opens at 6 a.m. I'm not sure who's going to get there that early, but if any indication of like what the times have been for waiting this like past week, then yeah, it's probably a smart idea to get there early, right? So that's part. Shuttle buses will begin at 6 a.m. also. Turnstiles at both Kronos front entrance and Helios Grand Hotel. Dedicated entrances will open at 7. So it's saying the gates, the turnstiles at both Kronos front entrance, like these are it's like right here in the front. So I guess they're going to be opening that portion at 7. But the park won't open till 9. I wonder if they're going to do the same thing that they did for us for hotels, where it opened at 9:30 and we were able to get into the park. Technically, we were in the park, but people who didn't have hotel or who had hotel, we had to wait until 10. So we had to wait in line to get into Super Nintendo World. Everyone else had to wait till 11. So they might do something similar to that, to where the gates open at 7, they get everyone in, and you have to wait till 9 if you're not staying at a hotel to get into the parks, right? And yeah, it does need this. It needs to stay open at least till 10. That's fine, because right now it's getting dark at like 8:15 or something, which is, I mean, it's at least an hour almost. I feel like 10 o'clock is, I feel like 10:30, 11 is fine, but I guess they don't want to stay there longer. You know what I mean? So there's that. Okay, so then that's just the opening day, right? But I assume that these times are going to be the park hours and how everything works from when it's open. So this is probably just not only opening day. I'm pretty sure this is going to be happening throughout the rest of the month and how it normally operates throughout any given day. So with that being said, let's also check to see if they have anything else on here. They don't really have. No, I don't want this. So Epic Universe Wednesday. Good Morning America. Everyone's got their videos. Was it Good Morning America? Where did I see this? Now I'm irritated. Oh, did I share it? I did not share it. Okay, that's fine. It's on Twitter though. It's on Twitter. Let me do this. I know I'm all over the place. There's so much stuff that's been happening that I need to check this out here. So many things that happened today. It's pretty crazy. Nope. This was 13 hours ago. I don't know. Okay. Epic Universe. NBC? Was it NBC? No, I said NBC. There we go. Okay, here it is. Here it is, guys. So tomorrow morning, very early tomorrow morning, you can watch the Today Show live from Universal, only on NBC, and it starts at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's very early, 7 a.m. Eastern. So that's the Today Show, the third hour today, and then Jenna and Friends. I don't know who that is. So they're also going to be doing stuff tomorrow morning. I'm probably not going to get up early for it, but I think what I'll do is we'll do a daytime stream from probably noonish, right? So we'll stream from noonish tomorrow till about 2, and then we'll do a night stream at the park. So we'll probably end up watching this. We'll watch a playback or something like that, I assume. I would hope that they have a playback on YouTube, otherwise that would kind of be dumb if they didn't. But it would make sense that they do. So we'll probably end up watching that tomorrow. So that way we'll be able to see what they are doing, because the next 2 days are unfortunately I think yesterday might have been 2, but tomorrow and Thursday are exclusive to all the cool people that have, a whole bunch of subscribers and media day and all that stuff. So all the people that got media. But tomorrow you'll be able to watch in the morning if you want to wake up that early. I'm not waking up that early. I'll just watch the playback and then we'll go from there. So there's that, right? And that is everything you need to know about what's happening this week so far. But what happened today, guys? Let me show you. I'm going to show you. You ready? You ready for this? Let me pause. Let me pause the music. Let's pause the music, guys. Okay. I'm going to show you what's been going on today. Okay, where is it at? Boom, 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 boom. All this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get to all this stuff. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. This was 3 minutes long. Okay. All right. So, Isle of Berk and Super Nintendo World got a crazy portal opening, apparently, that just looks really awesome and amazing. And I'm hoping it's in good video quality. So, everyone ready? Here we go. Where's Yoshi at though? Ding, ding, ding. Hey. Luigi with the squeegee. Donkey Kong. That was cool, right? That was pretty cool. It's hard to do that every day though, right? Like you couldn't do that every single time. Oh, we got the zoom in. That's cool, right? I do like that. I wish they could. I wish there. I mean, technically, there could be a way to do that every time they opened, but it's just it would be too much. People would be trying to be waiting and then rushing. It's just crazy. It would be too much. It'd be too much. But not only that, not only do we have that. Where's the other one? Where is the other one? There's two of them. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Guides you will find here in celestial energy. I am one of the celestial guides you will find here in Celestial Park. Celestial Park is an ancient world brimming with lush greenery and flowing waterfalls. Inventors and poets have written ballads of this garden world, which have been the source of inspiration for many of the greatest inventions and discoveries that we have come to know. Within Celestial Park, explorers and adventurers will find portals to other fantastical worlds that are just waiting to be discovered. We now stand in front of one of those portals. A portal to a world of tall mountains and steep cliffs. In this place, the Isle of Birth. Dragons and humans live together in harmony as friends. Now it is time to gather the cosmic energy of Celestial Park and activate this portal to another world. With sun and stars, the moon and time, the chrono spins and worlds align. For if you seek with curious heart, your compass true and stars to chart. Beyond this gate, find a rocky isle, where Vikings and dragons greet you with a smile.
I don't know why they put like trees blocking this whole area though. That's like one thing you shouldn't do is block the portal.
The best kept secret this side of, well, almost anywhere. Now granted, it might not look like much, but it packs more than a few surprises. So join us in a place where the service soars, the cuisine is fiery, and the locals are as colorful as you get. This is our paradise. Life here is amazing, but it's not for the faint of heart. Did I mention we have dragons? Lots and lots of dragons. Well, what are you waiting for? Who's ready to come face to face with a fire-breathing dragon? That's the Viking spirit. To birth!
So that's cool. They had like the smoke and everything. It'd be hard to do like every single time. That'd be hard to do every single time. But that is pretty cool. I do like that. And that was just 2 today. Those are the only 2 that they did today. So I think tomorrow we'll see Harry Potter and we'll see Dark Universe. So I can't wait to see what they do for Dark Universe. That's going to be kind of cool. So far we haven't seen anything yet like that. So while we're on the subject of all that stuff, let's make sure that we haven't missed anything. This was the other thing I saw too. Someone saw from their hotel room that they're testing fireworks. They're testing fireworks. And look, it says Epic right there. And there's drones in the back. So like when this place opens, we should be getting a lot of stuff for this park. Like it's not just the portals. Like we're gonna get a full show apparently. I hope we do. That'll be kind of dope, you know. The other thing also is that there's gonna be a bunch of pictures for a lot of the rides now. There's monsters. There's hiccups. Wing gliders, there's a photo on there as well. There's already a photo for Battle at the Ministry. Other than that, I'm not sure if there's any other photo ops there as far as the rides themselves. I just don't remember, but yeah, we're getting photo ops for those rides too, which is pretty cool. Let me see. That's FanFest. We already talked about that. We already talked about him. Look at Perry the Platypus is at Disneyland. Yeah, Disneyland. Oh, that was on the 17th, Isle of Berk. Let me see here. This thing is so cool. Like, I want FanFest nights. I want to go to a FanFest night. They have freaking Star Trek, man. Like, who does that? Like, why do I get to miss out? Look at that Dr. Seeker. So I went too far back a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine. There's more. Here's more fireworks from the floor from Epic Universe. There's drones. So you see it's 2 different angles. Everything looks legit. This was crazy. This got crazy. Does anyone know who this is? Besides anyone that I haven't already told. This gentleman here. If we got that, you would kidnap or dadnap my dad and bring him. Oh yeah. That would be so, yeah, that would be so cool. This gentleman right here was at Epic Universe yesterday. And it's crazy. He went through the whole Nintendo world. He saw all, he saw all the rides. Most of those rides they're already in Japan, right? So they have those in Japan. So I want to say it's like a 1-for-1. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same, right? So we missed Shigeru Miyamoto at Epic Universe. He was there the other day. I mean, just... All right, this looks like a better view. That's a better view of what the show looked like. This is also another view. Let me see what's up here. Yep, we saw that. That's good. That's good. Trying to think of everything else. Someone saw Warwick Davis yesterday. Was it yesterday? 23 hours? Yeah, yesterday. He was at Epic Universe yesterday, so that was dope. There's the portals. There's Miyamoto again. He was playing one of the games. So he's out there chilling. Here's some high-res shots. This whoever took these shots are really cool. He got a good spot. Look at that. That's pretty dope. And that is a really good shot too. That's pretty cool. It sucks. I want to be in media day. I want to be able to get on media day. That's no fair. Look, there's Miyamoto. He's going on to Donkey Kong. What else? So there's just a lot of stuff about Epic Universe since it's opening this week. So, there's someone going to media day, blah, 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 blah. We already knew about that, the logistics. I clicked on that already. They have Epic Universe opening day merch, guys.
An amazing.
Okay. Epic Universe opening day merch. Okay. The grand opening merch. Why? Just give me what I need. Give me this. There we go. So there's a poster. I guess it looks like a poster, right? They have... Yeah, it's a poster. They have pins. They have pins from all the worlds. Or pins or magnets. So they have all that stuff. Extreme close-up, I guess. Vikings Out of the Fog. Yeah, it's so dope. The Vikings Out of the Fog is crazy. It's so cool. They have Epic Universe pins, it looks like. They have the grand opening cups. They have this weird, like, display, this medallion thing, which is... It's interesting. I don't know why you would pay for that. And then they have backpacks. They also have shirts. They have like a, oh, that's cool, like a little like display thing. A license plate. And then they have the shirts. And it has grand opening 2025 on the side. That's pretty dope. So, you know, money spent. Hey, Titania. Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. So yeah, there's stuff there. Gerald Butler was there yesterday. I think he's supposed to play Gobber also in the movie. So they were there yesterday. Also, not only them, Hiccup, whoever plays Hiccup in the movie, he was there as long as Astrid. I don't know what's up with this day. Does everyone wear Jinko jeans now? The Jinko jeans are coming back. Do you see these pants? Look at those. Look how baggy they are. I don't get the choice. He must be burning up. I'm telling you, he's burning up hot. It is hot out there. And he's wearing pretty much all black. Not a smart decision. Not a smart decision. There is a better thing of him doing that though. Yeah, there's Astrid. See, she was at least smart. She wore light clothing. You know what I mean? So they got to see the Isle of Berk there. There is a whatchamacallit? There is a video of this. Oh, here it is.
You're Hiccup? You're Hiccup? I'm Hiccup. I'm Hiccup. Oh, we're Hiccup? We're both Hiccup. Oh, I guess so. That's truthful. I guess we're the same. Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah. You're Hiccup?
That's so funny. Nan, what's up?
We're Hiccup?
That is kind of funny though.
Oh, I guess so. That's truthful. I guess we're the same. Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah. You're Hiccup? You're Hiccup?
Always, it's always got to be toothless to be starting some stuff. So yeah, I think that was mostly almost everything that had to do with like the grand opening stuff. Funny enough, Everything else is, for the most part, we went over. Shit. But there is one other thing I think I saw that I missed. We don't need all that. Oh, I gotta show here, Amber. You want to see something? I love how the guy that plays him sounds just like Hiccup in the movie. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's not like one for one, but it is pretty close. Look at this. Look at this, Amber. Do you see this? It's 21,000. It's 14. Wait, 1,497 pieces. And it's probably, look, you can tell it's like $150 or something. You can see right here. Why? I have no idea. All right, let's see what Igor's doing. Let's see what Igor's doing. He's always fun. What's he got? Okay. You just put that on your birthday list that I didn't look at. Yeah. Oh, this is cool. We should probably watch this soon. We may watch that. The ride system. Someone made Minecart Madness in Planet Coaster, which is pretty crazy. That is a pretty awesome. Oh, this is funny too, yeah.
I don't want to be. I want to spend my life savings on this. I want to abandon all financial responsibility and dump it in here. I don't want to be.
That's Amber right there. That's Amber's spirit animal. All right, let's see if there's anything else. That's we already seen. We've seen them walking in. Blase, blase. Oh, this is cool. They have... Make sure I'm not getting a message. They have Zelda merch. They have Zelda merch in Super Nintendo World that I need. I need Zelda merch. I love it. They have that t-shirt. There's a hat. So what is this box though? What's this box? And what's this box? That's what I want to know. I want to know what these boxes are. Does anyone have any other information on the boxes? No, but they have Zelda merch. And I need it. I want it. Look at this. This happened today. Near record heat hits Disney World with 100 to 105 degree heat index today. What is this about, bro? Kissimmee? Orlando? So Disney's like right here. Disney's like right around here somewhere. Because it's not technically in Orlando, it's in Lake Buena Vista. So it's like right off of Kissimmee, off of the I-4, like right here. But still, that's hot. And the record highs was 96 in Orlando. And then Leesburg was 95. So pretty much it was almost record highs. You wouldn't be surprised if the first new edition they did was. So that would be cool. I think I might do a video on like top, like things that I like, portals that I would want to see. Where did I come? Oh, that was right here. She was walking and some couple was having a fight.
So now let's head on over to Isle of Berg. It's the last portal that we have to do. Minutes with the carousel, but it's because the load.
Bro, it's so funny, like what you hear people talking about when you're just walking through the park. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty insane, like what these people are talking about. But yes, okay, so we got Media Day. We got Mark Woodbury, the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations, talking about the park. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see what he's got to say. Let's make sure we're doing this right. Okay, let's hear it.
Is really the culmination of a 10-year journey and is a clear reflection of the incredible creativity and the technical prowess and the operational excellence of our entire team at Universal Destinations and Experiences, together with the Lowe's Company, to make this all happen and to happen in a seamless way. Where else can you find a place like the Helios Grand Hotel so seamlessly integrated into a theme park experience like you will at Epic Universe? So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for taking the time to celebrate this momentous occasion. For us, it would not have happened without the great support of our company across the board, of Comcast, NBC, Universal, their pride and passion for what we do, and continuing to tell the great stories that are truly universal and that only we can tell with the technology and the creativity that we put behind them. So we're thrilled to have that ongoing support. So again, thank you all for being here. I mentioned...
Why is someone trying to start a slow clap twice?
Really,
I know he probably wasn't doing that, but you know, it's just funny. Speaking of Universal, this is at Regal, so they have a Jurassic Park popcorn bucket. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So if you're at Regal when the movie comes out, what's funny is they release the popcorn bucket sometimes like Wednesday or Thursday before the movie comes out. So you can sometimes get these buckets early. So if you're in Regal movie area, I wonder if they have them online. I wonder if you can pre-order them. Cookies. Give me the cookies. Exclusively at Regal. You can't pre-order. You can't order these. Gifting. No. Promos. Yeah, they don't let you order these online, which kind of stinks. I wish you could order them. I mean, everyone would order them, though, if that was the case. I would order one. Let's see if there's anything else. I'll make sure there's nothing else here as far as Epic Universe is concerned. That's Hollywood. Okay. It's just it's so hot. It's so crazy hot. It's unbearable. It is completely unbearable. Okay, that's out of Twitter. Get me out of Twitter. All right. Okay, guys. Full stop. If you guys overpay for Crocs, here's your opportunity. We got Cars, Lightning McQueen, and Mater Crocs available at the Disney Store. These are $70. You could say they're only $69. They're under $70. No, they're $70. Don't just... I always hate this, that it's like, oh, it's under $20. It's $19.99. You do know it's $20, right? It's 1 penny. We're fighting over 1 penny. It's $20, okay? This is $70. Okay? They're also, the Toe Mater ones are 72, okay? They're 70 also. So they come in women's sizes 6 to 12, men 4 to 13. They were released actually in 2021, and Maters were released in 2023. Now they're back up. So if you guys like Crocs, I've kind of worn Crocs. Like I'd like wore them for like 3 seconds. I've never really been a Croc person, but I mean, I guess they're all right. They're all right. What a Croc. Yeah, exactly. What a Croc. $70. What's funny is these things used to be like $20, $30. And now they're just going insane prices. It's just crazy because everyone wants them now, so they just jack up the price. I'm not a Croc person, so that's fine by me. It's fine by me. Let's see if there's anything else that I can kind of breeze over real quick. We can do that one later. All right, let's see what this one. I'm not sure what this one's about. Get me out of here. Let me see how long this is. Okay. All right. This is a all right, let's just go over it. Epic Universe just solved my biggest theme park problem. What's your problem with it? Let's find out what her problem is. My favorite part of essentially any theme park are the rides. Always have been, and hopefully always will be. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a theme park. That should be the essential of any theme park, would be rides. But okay, I get what you're saying. I concur. Yeah, I concur. When I went to Epic Universe, I was most excited to ride all the new attractions and see what they lived up to the hype surrounding them. I'm happy to say that I was super impressed by all the rides and had the time of my life on each one. But there was something in particular that I really appreciated, being someone who wears glasses. My number one pet peeve is any rides anywhere with 3D glasses. Oh, Amber, she's speaking to you. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine too, I will admit. Everything has to be like 3D glasses or whatever. And, you know, that might be all well and good. But what's cool about, like, let's say Mario Kart is that it has the AR and you put the hat on and then it clips on. The AR clips to the hat. So it's like you're wearing almost AR glasses or 3D glasses, if you will, but without restricting you because you have glasses on, right? So yes, this is good. This is a good start. That sounds like you. Yes, it does. Now, I don't mind them for 3D or 4D shows as much because I'm not moving around or risking my own glasses or the 3D falling on my head. But on rides, nope. It's a huge no for me. What ride does that? Is Avatar's technically the only thing, but you're not on a coaster. Minions does that, but it's not really Gringotts does that, right? Am I right? Gringotts does that. Does Forbidden Journey do that? I'm not sure. Not sure. Let's see. Okay, yep. Thankfully, my eyesight isn't terrible, but it changes enough to when I take my glasses off, become pretty obvious, things something ASAP. I'm nearsighted, which means objects further away are blurry. I'm nearsighted too, so I prefer to keep my glasses on during rides to get the full effect, unless a roller coaster is risking. I'm looking at you, Stardust Racers. Glasses didn't fall off. I rode Stardust fine. But, you know, I digress. However, this means that trying to juggle both pairs of glasses are a hassle and never turns out well. Last time I rode Gringotts, ding dong, those 3D glasses did fly straight off my face. Really? So I either have to only wear the 3D glasses and not experience the full ride because I'm blurry, or deal with them both and risk them falling off. Yes, that is true. That is true. But Epic Universe totally wins in that department because there are no rides with any type of 3D glasses. The closest you get to them is Mario Kart Bowser's, but since that screen clips onto the side of your visor, you can wear the glasses with no issues. It was a game changer for me. Just like I said, that is a perfect example. Seriously, it was nice to be able to enjoy the efforts juggling two pairs of glasses, watch something through blurry vision. So if you're not a glasses person like I am, who avoids contacts at all costs, I do not trust myself to shove my finger in my eye. You'll run into very few issues in that part. I mean, that was a quick little story, but yes, I completely agree. Epic Universe did something, made a cognitive decision of not putting 3D glasses in, and I appreciate that. But what they did instead of using 3D is they took a combination of practical animatronics and putting them with the screen to give that simulation of kind of like a 3D effect in a way. So it actually works without having to use 3D glasses. So I think that's why Battle at the Ministry is and Monsters Unchained are the way they are. And it works. It works really well. There is something about the what of glasses? because I have to hold my glasses on my face. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what's funny. Some glasses are built in a weird way to where like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And with us going to the parks a lot, you can tell by, let's say, like PhilharMagic, there's Avatar, you know, then you have Green Gots, then you have Muppets. And so you're doing all these different things, right? And you have Toy Story Mania, like they all have different versions of glasses, which I always found that was a little weird. Like I wish they would, because there's like, I guess there's different types of 3D that they're utilizing. So there's different types of 3D glasses. And I wasn't aware of that until I was like, you know what, why don't I buy like a pair, like a 3D lens or something for my camera, so I don't have to like keep grabbing their glasses and try to like hold the glasses and the gimbal at the same time. But come to find out that there's different types of 3D effects that are used in different rides. So one 3D glasses is not a one size fits all. So you can't do anything about that. So it kind of sucks. But yes, I totally concur that utilizing the practical animatronics along with the screens definitely work a lot better than having to worry about having 3D glasses or worrying about losing 3D glasses or worry about cleaning the 3D glasses. You got to make sure everyone brings back the glasses. It's just a lot easier to deal with. It minimizes stuff you have to deal with. So you just focus on the ride and the patrons and all that stuff. So yes, I totally agree with this. I definitely concur. I concur. Oh, it looks like Villains. We got some text added to the mural on Sunset Showcase as the final McQueen sign is removed. So it looks like we got some signage here. We got some pictures. They're plastering it like big on the wall too. So you can see from like on the other side of the wall. They're getting ready, man. I can't wait to see this. This is next week. It's opened. So we'll be there, man. We'll be there in a week. Now I do have like so we'll be there in the afternoon actually. So it actually works out because I have an appointment I got to go to next week in the morning. But afternoon, we're there, man. We're going to watch this show. We're going to get with it. So I can't wait. So there's that. Is this a video? Let's see what. Okay. Josh Tomorrow says Disney is on the offensive at Epic Universe opens, but no new rides, only closures at Disney World 25. Again, this is from that park place. Take that as you will. I'm not sure if this is a video. As Universal prepares to open its most ambitious park yet, Epic Universe, Disney's top park executive, Josh Tomorrow, is pushing back against concerns over competition, stating that Disney has been on the offensive for years in the battle for Orlando tourism. But while Universal is launching a massive resort, Walt Disney has no attractions scheduled to open 25, only closures of long-standing guests. That's it. It's just that. That was a quick post. Okay, that was quick and easy. But has he said anything? Josh Tomorrow. Let's see. It says Josh Tomorrow offensive lineman. Okay, let's see. This was last week. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, let's see what they say. WDW Magic. Let's see what they say. During his appearance at the Moffat Nathanson, why do you got to make words that I can't pronounce? Media, Entertainment, and Communications Conference on May 14th. Disney Experience Chairman Josh Tomorrow directly addressed the opening of Universal Theme Park, Epic Universe, and how it may impact. Rather than signaling concern, Josh Tomorrow position opposed constantly looking forward. If you just look back 5 or 10 years and you think about what's happened at Walt Disney World, we've always been on the offensive. You'll never find us in a defensive position. Is that right? You'll be there opening day? You're gonna be there opening day? Yeah. I'm gonna pray for you. How about that? I'm gonna pray for you, Sierra. I hope everything. Do you have express passes or something, or are you gonna be trying to? Or how long are you gonna be recording for? Are you gonna be riding rides, or are you just gonna kind of like take it easy? Because there's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hot. So let's check. Let's check the hotness scale. 89 is not horrible, but it is pretty much up there. You have 16% chance of rain. That could change. It is still a couple days away, so there's still time to change this temperature. Humidity 77%. UV index is 0. That's good. Oh wait, no, that's today. Humidity 53%, index extreme. Yeah, that's a lot worse. What else can Josh say? I mean, yeah, what else can Josh say? Spoken like a true corporate person, right? Spoken like a true corporate person. You know what the problem is? Is that corporate people speak too much like corporate people. And really, he's not speaking for us. He's speaking for the stockholders and everyone on the board. That's what he's really speaking to, right? And investors. That's really what he talks to, because you can't say, we're screwed, guys. We don't have nothing coming out. He can't say that. He's obviously capitulating to the investors and the people on the board and all that stuff, right? That's really what he's saying. That's why he's doing it at the conference, right? Let me actually see. Let me see if there's anything.
This event may include forward-looking statements.
I don't want that. Just tomorrow.
Which are statements that are not historical and are based on management's assumptions regarding the future.
Hold on.
And are subject to risks and uncertainties.
See what he says.
Including, among other factors, economic, geopolitical performance.
We've built 6 different resort
factors and risks that could cause results to differ from those in the forward-looking statements are set forth in the company's securities filings.
Josh, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you.
Okay, there we
we
go.
made some big news last week with you and Bob announcing Disney's 7th park in Abu Dhabi. There's lots of excitement for the growth opportunity for Disney over the next decade and tapping into a new region of the world. How did you reach the decision to lead creative design and operational oversight while your partners will be making the investment to develop and build the park?
Yeah, so this is obviously an incredibly exciting announcement for me, for the Walt Disney Company. Maybe I'll start with Abu Dhabi in general, and I'll come specifically to your question. Disneyland will be 70 years old in just a couple of months. Our first park opened on July 17th, 1955. And since then, we've built 6 different resort destinations around the world. So it's a big announcement. Once every decade, essentially, we're talking about something like this. And so when we were thinking about where we wanted to be in the world, we knew that there was demand for Disney product around the world. I've said this publicly before, for every one theme park visitor that we have in our existing experiences today, we believe there are 10 more out there that want to come and participate in a Disney experience,
but can't afford it.
They just haven't had an opportunity to do so.
They can't afford it.
We looked around the world. We looked at the Middle East and UAE specifically, and ended up in Abu Dhabi. The numbers are incredible in Abu Dhabi. So if you look at a 4-hour flight radius into Abu Dhabi, a third of the world's population is there. It's a pretty significant number. If you look at the number of passengers that are coming into Abu Dhabi or Dubai, 120 million passengers a year. So this is a crossroads for the world, essentially. And then, of course, we assess the potential for Disney in that market specifically. And we think that there are 500 million consumers that have the right Disney affinity and income to visit one of these theme parks. So the numbers were clear. This was a part of the region, part of the world that we wanted to be operating in. A few months back, Bob and I visited Abu Dhabi. We wanted to get our feet in the ground and see specifically what was going on there. And we left incredibly impressed with what we saw. This is a city that's relatively young. It celebrates its culture and heritage, but has a really compelling vision for where it's going in the future, particularly from a tourism point of view. The designs and infrastructures are elegant and sophisticated and very tech forward. We knew after that trip, again, this is a place that matches Disney and a place that we wanted to be. We also spent a lot of time with Meral Group, to your point, and this is a group who has proven themselves to be very effective in building tourism assets. They have high ambitions like we do. They operate with a high level of expertise, and we knew this was the partner that we wanted to work with. And so the arrangement here is we control all of the creative, all of the design elements, as we do with all of our experiences around the world. We leverage all of our operating expertise from around the world, and then Meral fully funds the project. They will build the project and ultimately operate the project with a significant amount of oversight from us. So we think this was the right place, the right partner, and the right time for this new theme park.
In terms of this model, is this a new way to think about how you may be looking forward in terms of licensing and working
I don't think,
partner?
yeah, I don't think that this model is necessarily a predictor of how we'll do it in the future. If you look around the world today, we have a variety of models that match the market, the partnership opportunities, and the specific timing of the park and how we're thinking about capital allocation. Our domestic theme parks are vertical. Disneyland Paris is now a vertically operated park. Our two Chinese parks are partnerships. And in Japan, we have a licensing deal with the Oriental Land Company. So it really depends on the specific situation. And for Abu Dhabi specifically, given how strong we thought Meral was and what our investment portfolio looks like right at this time, we think that's the right model for this market.
So Josh, just maybe expanding upon that, just if you can talk about how opening a new park helps expand Disney's premium IP, the brands, all the businesses in the different parts of the world. Maybe if you can talk about any success stories from other international parks that you just talked about, how does that demonstrate the Disney flywheel effect?
Yeah, so our experiences are incredibly powerful. So bringing stories to life through attractions and entertainment, and doing so in a way that can pull consumers into these stories that they love.
Right here.
It's incredibly powerful, and when done at scale, which we do in our theme parks, it essentially creates brand ambassadors that then utilize the full array of businesses that we have in the Walt Disney Company. We have somewhere around 120 million guests on average every year coming through these theme parks. So
you are correct though, because if Josh missteps, he's not going to be CEO, and I'm pretty sure he wants CEO. He don't want to stay at his position.
Anytime we plant the Disney flag, so to speak, in an international market, it has a very powerful effect on the company. That's happened in Shanghai. We opened in Shanghai in 2016. We saw an immediate impact, positive impact on the brand, as well as an incredibly powerful business. And we know the same thing will happen with Abu Dhabi.
And on that point, we're living in an increasingly screen-first world, more virtual.
Why don't they have one in Africa or in South America?
How important is the live experience of what the parks offers to the entire Disney flywheel and consumer connectivity to Disney?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll step back and kind of talk about this broadly for a moment. You talk about screen time. We're incredibly fortunate in Disney in that we have an array of businesses that accommodates different experience types. Somebody wants to watch something on Disney Plus, that's great for us. Watch something on Disney Plus. Somebody wants to go visit a theme park, that's great for us as well. This notion goes back to the early 1950s as Walt was just starting to think about the Disneyland park. Some of you may have seen this before. He drew a diagram that had stories and content in the middle, which is still core to who we are today. And outside of that circle, he started to draw all the businesses, all the additional touch points that we can engage with consumers in terms of those stories. Merchandise, theme parks, music, television, et cetera. And that idea, that ecosystem, the flywheel that you call it, is more powerful today than it was even back in the 50s. And in terms of your specific question, what do the theme parks mean in that ecosystem? They're very powerful. So when the studios,
they're very powerful because you made money with the parks. Everything else lost money. I don't know about recent, but the parks are the only thing that's generating money because it costs so much, and then you're paying for the food, you're paying for the hotel, of course the park is important.
Studios Group has a movie that is successful and powerful. Our ability to take that into the market that we're operating it in and pull people into the story and in fact extend the story, this again, it creates stickiness to the brand, and it makes that flywheel spin even faster. Of course, not only do we create great experiences that our fans
if you don't take long enough to turn that movie into something at the theme park,
respond to very well, but the model works incredibly well for the Walt Disney Company. I think it's a significant contributor from an operating income perspective to the whole company, and it helps us then think about new businesses that we might want to enter into.
It's a ping pong ball.
You go ahead, whoever.
Okay, so just kind of building upon that a little bit more. So all of the creative people that you oversee, I think.
Oh yeah, there's not going to be a lot of people visiting the other parks, right? Like Tokyo, I want to go to Tokyo for multiple reasons. So that's going to be a multiple thing of a trip. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to Tokyo just to experience downtown Tokyo, maybe Shibuya. I want to go to like the Naruto Park that's over there. Maybe Mount Fuji or Fiji. I don't even know how to pronounce it anymore. Maybe go there and then go to Tokyo Disney, I do want to go to Shanghai Disney because they're just animatronics are so amazing, right? But Tokyo, I want Tokyo to be my first spot, right? Paris, I'm not. I mean, I kind of want to go to Paris too. I kind of want to go to all the parks technically, but I don't know just when, how frequently or when I be able to get there. But I know Tokyo. Hopefully next year, Tokyo will be the spot that will be the first place that we go, and then Paris can go in 2027. But Abu Dhabi might be interesting too. The other thing about Abu Dhabi that I was looking at, I assume it is. Why? It's just the area, just looking at the area. Abu Dhabi is it is a lot of sand, so they have a lot of stuff to play with over there, right? So there's a lot of space over there. But there's Saudi Arabia, there's Yemen right there. Pakistan is just over the water. And if you know anything, Pakistan and India are fighting right now, so that's pretty crazy. Israel is, Israel is pretty close, they're having issues too over there. So it's a lot closer to what issues are having, but to be fair, there are certain areas over here that don't play that stuff, right? So, I'm sure it's probably a lot safer than normal, but then again, we are clear across the water. Why do I keep clear across the water in order, so we're obviously a lot safer than being closer to where all the issues that are happening currently, right? But I would assume, this area, there's Kuwait right there, so I would assume that, we got a bunch of water, but it's not too much separating these other places that are having issues right now. But I would assume that they don't want to mess with they just got a deal to get a Disney World. You know what I mean? So I assume they want to protect this at all costs. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of security and everything like that. So I don't foresee any issues, right? Just like, you know, there's no issues in Shanghai Disney, you know, or Hong Kong Disney. You know what I mean? So we have a Paris, we have Disneyland Paris. We have 2 here, we have 1 here, and now we're going to have 1 here, right? I don't know, you know, I guess South Africa is out of the picture, but, you know, we could have had a park here somewhere. We could have had a park here somewhere, but you know, I guess it's in the middle for everyone over there, so I guess they can join that. But it's not just having a theme park there. It's like I want to experience a different theme park too, right? Are they building one on the same island? Really? Really? I mean, yeah, let's check that out. I'm surprised SeaWorld is still, yeah, there it is. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. Give me Abu Dhabi. So they already have one there. Interesting. I did not know that. Africa's, yeah, they could have like that's what I'm saying. Like, if they wanted to, and since parks are their main money generators, you know what I mean? Like they could. I did not know the SeaWorld had that. That's interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
The broader team has 185,000 cast members. Clearly, the company is very focused on turbocharging this business as a creative engine for the overall company that you just hit on. So when you think about parks within that lens, how does parks become more about given that parks are more about the lands and storytelling nature, I'm trying to go a little bit bigger here. How do you tap into Disney's creativity to drive that innovation and develop, you know, within your overall portfolio?
Yeah.
You let the Imagineers do what they're good at.
I think you're talking probably about the Imagineering group.
Exactly.
Specifically. So we have 3,000 Imagineers around the world, and this is essentially the creative heartbeat of our company.
Yeah, so don't stifle them, Josh, please.
These are the folks that are thinking ambitiously about how to create that next experience, how to raise the bar on immersive storytelling.
Which is why some of them went to Universal.
As we sit here today, we have more projects underway than we ever have in the history of Disney Experiences or the Walt Disney Company. And that means that our creatives are incredibly hard at work to deliver all of these new projects, like Abu Dhabi, like all the work that's going on at Walt Disney World and again, around the world. I'm incredibly lucky in that this is part of my organization, so a few times each week I'm with the Imagineers reviewing all of the creative, making sure we are actually pushing the bar, being ambitious in our planning and creative deployment. And we just continue to get stronger on that front, bringing in new talent all of the time to make sure that we're always cutting edge. One of the things that's working really well for us right now at Disney is the interaction and the relationship back to the studios. Alan Bergman, who runs our studios, is doing a phenomenal job.
What
studios?
And I are
hip to hip. As he's thinking about the next franchise that he wants to birth or the next movie that's coming out, he's pulling the Imagineers in very, very early, and that allows us to, in some cases, influence the story, and at a minimum, to start thinking about how we're going to build these immersive new worlds. So much so now that when a film it hits the screens, we're doing something in the park immediately to showcase that story.
Really? You mean just like a character that comes out? To be fair, Disneyland, they always have a new character in Avengers Campus, but that's really all they've been doing. What is new? Can you guys think of anything that's been new when something comes out?
Bring it to life in physical form.
Like what? Like what? Name something, Josh. Why don't what? I love how these are just like layup questions. You know, this isn't. They're just easy questions.
So just maybe building upon that and getting into some specifics.
Yes.
In September 23, you guys announced the 10-year roadmap of $60 billion of investment globally for new attractions, the lands, the hotels, and the ships. We'll get to in a second.
The ships. Don't get me started on the ships. You already have enough ships.
And you just mentioned that more projects right now than ever before. So maybe just talk a little bit more detail about some of these growth initiatives in place that are set to build upon the monetization and the creative engine that is working much better now.
Yeah, well, on that last point, much better now. Alan Bergman and the studios team are doing an incredible job. I just had a chance to see Thunderbolt. I hope all of you have had a chance to see Thunderbolts. I hope you've had a chance to see that.
We have not seen Thunderbolts.
That as well. Moana 2, Deadpool, and
haven't seen Moana 2, but I did see Deadpool.
And Wolverine. I mean, it's hit after hit after hit.
Whoa, slow down. Hit after hit. How much did Thunderbolts make? Hold on. Let's find this out. We're gonna softball. Yeah, softball questions. Which is not, I mean, it's not, it's fine, but 180 million. It says 280. The budget was 180 with additional 100 million spent on marketing. They spent 100 million on marketing? They spent 100 million on marketing? Global was 320. They barely made their money back. 128 in North America. I mean, they made their money back, to be fair, but they barely made their money back. Is that what you call a hit? Global was 160, with 76 coming from the US. I guess that's not bad, actually. That's not horrible. Yeah, you see how he didn't mention Snow White? You didn't mention Snow White? Okay. So 76 million from the US and opening weekend is it's not bad, but for Disney it's bad, right? All Marvel movies. Give me all Marvel movies. Are you gonna give me that? You gonna give it to me? You're not gonna give it to me, are you? Reviews. Oh, here we go. Okay, these are Marvel movies. Okay, wait. Let's double check. Let's see what's happening here. The release date: U.S. and Canada, other territories, worldwide. Okay, and then the budget's at the end. U.S. and Canada is what we're looking at. We'll just look at U.S. and Canada, right? Okay. U.S. and Canada, 200. Wait, this is not opening weekend though. This is box office gross, and that's all time. No, I don't want that. Ranking. Let me try ranking. Opening weekends. Here we go. This is good. Opening 350 million. Avengers Endgame was peak as hell. No Way Home, that makes sense. No Way Home was amazing. Infinity War, right behind it. I love it. Force Awakens, that's to be expected. Last Jedi, okay, we'll get with that. Deadpool, I'm surprised Deadpool wasn't more, but it's still in the top 10, so that's good. What does Jurassic Park have anything to do with it? Okay, the original Avengers, 200 million. Black Panther, 200 million. I love that. I love to see that. Lion King. Okay, where are we at? Where is it? Where is it? Is it even on here? There it is. 141. Okay? 141. Total gross 157. This was opening weekend. It didn't make its money back in opening weekend, which is fine. It can make more, but this 74 in just US? Okay. The first Fantastic Beasts barely beat them. Despicable, Zootopia. Zootopia was a great movie, by the way. The original Star Trek, oh my god, I love that movie. It's so great. These are all the movies that beat Thunderbolts. Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was the second one. Avatar makes sense. The Da Vinci Code, Order of the Phoenix, I Am Legend, Oz, Five Nights at Freddy's beat Thunderbolts. Okay, just put that into perspective. Black Widow was an amazing movie. Twisters, Monsters University, great movie. Still haven't seen that. Passion of the Christ, okay. Well, Solo beat that, and I heard Solo sucked. Well, I know that's what I typed in, but it is what it is. That's fine. We still have the whole list here, so it'll be fine. Hobbit, X-Men Origins, Doctor Strange, love Doctor 50 Shades of Grey. All them housewives, man. They paid for that. They saw that. Thor the Dark World, which wasn't great. Fast 5. Oof. Logan. Okay. Brave New World even beat it. And I heard that wasn't even great. Inside Out, It Chapter 2, Aladdin. That's the live action Aladdin. The Amazing. Okay, all these are fine. Yep, fine. Taylor Swift. Yo, the Swifties came out to play, bro. You didn't hate Solo? I never seen it. I never saw it. Hey, Monique, how you doing? I never saw it. The Swifties came out. That beat Thunderbolts. Harry Potter, Justice League, Guardians, okay. Winter Soldier was an amazing movie. That was such a good movie, man. If you put that up with the sequels of other movies like Thor the Dark World and, like Iron Man 2 and all that stuff, like that movie is solid. That movie is solid. So good. The first Joker was good. Second Joker, eh. Fast 6, look, it even got Fast 6. Dark of the Moon, never saw Dark of the Moon. Did I? No, yeah, I did see Dark of the Moon. Fate of the Furious, oh my god. Age of Extinction, I didn't see that one. The Crystal Skull beat it. That was garbage. Well, I don't want to say it's garbage. I only watched it once, but there you go. I guess that's all you need to know. Jungle Book, I didn't see that one. Secret Life. Quantum Mania even beat Thunderbolts, and I heard Quantum Mania wasn't good, but it had a cool premise because you did see King the Conqueror. R.I.P. King the Conqueror. Let's see, Shrek 2, Friends of the Fallen, Beetlejuice beat it. That goes without saying. Minions, Alice, Man of Steel, solid movie. Guardians 3, haven't seen it yet. Across the Spider-Verse, that was an amazing movie. Love that movie. Such a good movie. Toy Story 4, Mockingjay, Thor Ragnarok was hilarious. Such a great movie. Deadpool 2, okay, definitely. I'm trying to find if there's something that was Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was good. Suicide Squad, The Batman, Avatar, Finding Dory. All these beat Thunderbolts. Let's put that in perspective. Moana 2 beat Thunderbolts. Jurassic, Super Mario, obviously. Furious 7. People were still going to see Furious movies? That's so crazy. I don't believe that's just crazy to me. Captain Marvel beat Thunderbolts. That's pretty insane. Barbie beat it. Minecraft demolished it. Even Iron Man 3, which Iron Man 3 wasn't the best out of the trilogy, but Civil War, Multiverse of Madness. I love Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed that. Age of Ultron, Lion King, Black Panther. Okay, and then we're back to this. So all these movies, look at all these, beat Thunderbolts, only made $74 million. Let's see what came right below it. Despicable Me, Hunger, Sonic, Eternals. Look at that. Eternals made $70 million. Good for them. Good for them. Okay, so enough about that.
Hit and the slate going forward is
I went off a tangent, by the way.
Strong.
That was a tangent. That was an official tangent.
Is helpful to us as a studio creates more powerful IP. We bring that in and we tell those stories in physical form around the world. So let me step back a little bit. I'll answer your question on what those growth initiatives are.
Oh, you're going to answer it?
Specifically. 2.5 years ago or so, Bob Iger returned to the company, and I had a meeting with him on basically the first day that he's back, and I went up to his office with a big binder. And inside of that binder was an update on
2 hours later
of the business that we run. And we flipped through the binder, and we didn't get through everything. The next day he comes down to my office. He had read the whole thing. I mean, it was like 250 pages in this binder. And he pulled out one page specifically that articulated two things. Number one, we have plenty of room to grow this business.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got land in all of our locations around the world.
Yes, and to warrant the prices that you're charging people. But you shouldn't have to destroy rides or retheme them in order to add new stuff. That's just saying.
That we can continue to utilize to increase capacity at those theme parks. We've only scratched the surface in terms of the stories that we're telling. We haven't told the story of Coco, for example. We haven't done anything with Wakanda. I said there's so much more that we can do on that front. And we know that there are consumers out there today that want to become guests. We just haven't had an opportunity to put a location, an attraction in place.
If they put Wakanda in Abu Dhabi, I'm going to be very upset. I'll be very upset. I'm just saying, because that is that will probably be the closest park to Africa. And if they put Wakanda in Abu Dhabi, oh my God.
That can accommodate them. So we've got the space, we've got the stories, we've got the fans. In addition to that, what it said on that page that he pulled out was that if you look back 10 years and you look at the return on invested capital, the curve essentially looks like this. And we have figured out a way to pull stories in, tell them in immersive ways, have guests respond, and have the business respond. He saw those two things, and that's where he said, Josh, we've got to turbocharge this business. And over the last 2.5 years or so, you all have seen, our fans and consumers have certainly seen what we mean by that. We're investing on land across all of our experiences around the world. We're certainly investing at sea. I hope we get a chance to talk about cruise. We're doubling the size of our fleet.
Please stop with the cruises. Can we stop with the cruises? I'm not. The cruises are fine, right? I'm not saying that cruises are bad. I'm just saying you already have enough boats.
In Disney Cruise Line, and we're even investing online. We put a substantial amount of money into Epic Games, which we believe will be a storytelling platform for us in the future. So we have very ambitious.
Oh, like the Darth Vader AI, right?
Plans in place for the future.
The thing about your parks is interesting is that you guys control your destiny. You have direct contact with your clients, and many of the other businesses, you don't. And Disney's always, and Bob talked about the fact that you know your clients, you have direct connections with them, and it's a role model for other parts of Disney's future ambitions.
Yeah, and one of the ways that we've done that is by leaning into technology very aggressively. All of our businesses do that. I mean, you see it on direct to consumer, you see it in what Jimmy's announcing recently on ESPN, and certainly on the experiences side of the business, we've leaned in heavily to tech, which leads to then first-party consumer information. Coming out of COVID specifically, we had an opportunity when the theme park shut down to really be thoughtful about how we wanted to reopen and how we could use technology in a more progressive way to create a better guest experience and to run a better business. And we've done it across the board, from how we think about pricing to how we think about controlling attendance inside of our parks through things like reservation systems and date-based ticketing, and how we think about it through apps that allow our guests to take in our experiences in a way that makes sense for them. Let me dwell on that for a moment, if I could. We have an app called Disney Genie that is adopted by almost all the guests that come into our theme park.
No, we have
and
to.
Essentially what this product does
Otherwise we can't do anything.
It asks you what you're interested in. Do you want to see princesses? Do you want to go on thrill rides? Maybe you want to have Mexican food. Which kind of entertainment do you want to see? And then it comes back to you and it says, Michael, this is the path that you should take at the Magic Kingdom today. It prioritizes the attractions and the shows and the meals in such a way that makes sure your experience is optimized. What that information also allows us to do, though, is understand where everybody in the park is and sequence their visits in a way that allows every single asset in our park to be utilized most efficiently. Consumers get what they want. We're able to deploy labor in the most effective way that we possibly can. And the situation works incredibly well for us. So all this consumer data that's coming in is then allowing us to be very thoughtful about how we deploy capital, about the next IP that we want to use in our theme parks, about what guests are looking for but may not be getting. Incredibly powerful. One step back, as we start to link up all of this first-party data that we have with the first-party data that's coming from direct-to-consumer, from Jimmy's organization and ESPN, we can now start to think about the consumer from a 365 perspective, the lifetime value of a guest, make sure we're serving up the right information at the right time, giving them a great experience and maximizing value for the Walt Disney Company.
So I'm curious, maybe putting some of those points together, and you mentioned the strong returns looking backwards over the past 10 years. I think the ROIC has increased by 3x. So when you take all of that technology and think about the investments of what's coming, can you help us think about how the returns that you can generate going forward?
Okay, Cruz, let's see. You're not looking for IP in the theme parks. We want original experiences. I might have to push back on you a little bit, though. I might have to push back just a tad, because while original experiences were good, okay, Pirates was original, right? Pirates was original at the time. Country Bears was original at the time. Both were amazing. Don't get me wrong, both were amazing. Jungle Cruise original. Pretty much most of the park itself was original at the time. Small World's original, right? Big Thunder Mountain. What else? Space Mountain. There is a lot of originality in those things, right? But right now you have to, they have so much content. It's feel like an overkill is ruining the parks. Vader AI was a nightmare. It was so cool. I agree, but I don't agree, right? I can get with that a little bit, right? But at some point, you do have to utilize a lot of these things that are money generators, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This is a company. They're in it to make money, right? They're in it to make money. So, with that being said, what's going to generate the most money? Well, we can tell because Cars is being implemented into Disney World. And that is pretty much one of like their main money generators out of the movies. So you have to think they're going to put a lot of they have so much IP now. They bought so many things. They have Star Wars. They have Marvel. They have Pixar. They have their own movies. So they have all this stuff that they can kind of come full circle and generate more money because they have old figures or old toys or, you know, knickknacks. They have Crocs, whatever the case is. And in order to generate more of those sales, they're going to want to use those same IPs into the park so they can come full circle and sell more of the merchandise, right? So in a corporate sense, that makes complete sense. Having said that, right? Because again, let's not kid ourselves. A lot of when these parks originally opened up, they didn't have all that IP. They only had their Disney movies, right? They didn't start buying companies until like the 90s and 2000s. That was only like 20, 30 years ago they started buying stuff. Hey Jason, what's up? They just started buying all these IPs in the last 30 years. So everything else that they had was originally created by them or they completely made it from scratch. So when the parks opened up, they had to make everything completely from scratch. So that's why back then everything was original stuff, and that's why everything now is turning into IP stuff, because it only makes sense if someone loves Moana. I would like to see a Moana ride, or I want to see a Coco boat ride. That would be cool to see, right? I want a Guardians Cosmic Rewind. I want a Guardians coaster, right? And that's literally probably my favorite coaster, just because of like the overall everything, the whole aspect of it, right? You know, now there's not going to be a lot of things that are going to be original anymore, honestly. I mean, it's sad to say, but it also makes sense in a way. So, I don't fault them for taking IPs that are making money or that are beloved or anything like that and turning them into something that can be an experience at the theme park. Because, that's kind of like the whole point of, you see something, you're like, oh, that'd be so cool to go there. Like when Avengers came out, you're like, oh, cool, they have a whole Avengers campus. And then all of a sudden in Disneyland, you have a whole Avengers campus. You know what I mean? It has a whole show and this and that, right? So it makes sense of what he's saying. He wants to take the movie, you being mesmerized by this movie and be like, oh, it would be awesome to go there, right? And then they have a land there for you, like Toy Story Land. Toy Story Land's amazing. I love Toy Story Land, right? Galaxies looks awesome, but it looks awesome, but it's also like the most basic of things that you could put there in a Star Wars thing. So it's actually not one of the greater lands, to be fair. But Villains Land, I can't wait for Villains Land. That needs to be top notch. And I mean, it's the same thing with Universal. Like, look at Epic Universe. The Celestial Park is the only thing, but that's just a hub to go into the other park, the other portals. You have Super Nintendo, you have Dark Universe. All these are licensed IPs. These are legit IPs. So Islands of Adventure is pretty much the same thing. They have Dr. Seuss, they have Marvel, they have Jurassic Park, they have Harry Potter, and then they have like the little Atlantis area, right? And you see how the Atlantis area turned out. No one wants to go there. They stopped all those things. Like, everyone wants like lands to go to. They want to experience those things. Of course, but they should do a good balance of IP. I believe, I don't know if it would be 100% balance, right? I think it would be like an 80-20 balance, to be fair. But the thing is that all these parks are so old now that it's, there's no point in making original rides or original entertainment or anything like that, because you have all this IP to work with. And and kids, let's be fair, it's not for us, right? It's for the kids, right? It's for the young kids. They want to they love cars so much, they want to experience cars, or they love Toy Story so much, they love their characters, they want to say hi to their characters and experience the land, or whatever the case is, right? So it makes sense that they're going to use their IPs for those reasons. So the days of original rides and everything is done for. I mean, again, Disney's doing this, Universal's doing this, and those are the top two. Let's be fair. Those are the top two competitors, right? The lies. Bump them kids. Yeah, we got the disposable income, son. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. Original storytelling and IP now, original IPs it's not really there anymore. We have so much content. I want to experience Star Wars. I want to experience Marvel stuff. I want to experience Toy Story. Like, I kind of want to experience that stuff too, Those are some, to be fair, Tower of Terror and all that stuff, all that stuff is great, but Epic Universe, Dark Universe, Super Nintendo World, you have Isla Burke, like, tell me you don't like that stuff, right? Just saying.
Forward can be in the same ballpark.
Yeah. You're right. The return on invested capital has been 3x over the period that you talk about. And this is one of the reasons that we said we want to turbocharge the business. We have a good understanding of what it takes to drive those kinds of results. And you'll see that perpetuated in the investments that we're making in the long term. One thing that's really important that I want this group to understand is when we talk about turbocharging the business and deploying capital at the rate that we've suggested we break those investments down into small pieces and parts. So every dollar that is deployed, if it's on an attraction, a food and beverage location, a new show, there is a specific pro forma that is developed for that experience. And everything needs to pass a threshold from a return point of view. I certainly wouldn't advocate putting money into an experience that's not going to have a direct return associated with it, nor would Bob, and certainly Hugh wouldn't either. So as we think about these investments, we have a high degree of confidence that when we start to build, that the returns will come at the rates that you all expect of us and we expect of ourselves.
Okay. We're going to get into macro in 1 second, but before we even...
That one's specifically for the investors.
Go there. Over the past year, there has been lots of investor attention on Universal's opening of Epic Universe. So now that the official opening is very near, I'm just curious if you can share your thoughts about how this might impact Walt Disney World in Orlando, both in the near term and maybe just thinking about longer term, what this means for the overall market.
Great.
Good for us.
I was thinking and hoping you were going to ask this question.
Because he already had an answer for you. That's why.
And he's been there too.
Yes, and you've been there. It's nice to be sitting here after our Q2 earnings call, so I can be a little bit more explicit with all of you. But before I go into that level of detail from a performance standpoint,
here it comes.
One of the things that I think it's important for this audience to understand is our investment thesis, our investment strategy across all of our experiences, and particularly Walt Disney World. If we just go back 5 or 10 years and you think about what's happened at Walt Disney World, we've always been on the offensive. You'll never find us in a defensive position.
There's the quote. There's the quote, guys. Thing is, Universal started out that way. Disney didn't. I don't think they'd get as much pushback if they built new ride shows without getting rid of the nostalgia, which is a huge part of the Disney draw. Yeah, you're kind of right. Like, in order for Universal to become Universal Studios, they had to have those big IPs. They had to have Back to the Future. They had to have Kong. They had to have Jaws. They had to, they had those things in order to create their theme park. Otherwise, their theme park wouldn't have worked. That is 100% true. Their theme park wouldn't have worked if they didn't have those IPs in place. So, almost in a sense, Universal almost started this in a way. But, once Disney started making moves with buying IP and stuff like that, they did start to create more of the actual IP stuff in the parks, right? So yeah, I mean, Universal started it.
I could just take a walk around the parks and tell you what's happened. Magic Kingdom, for example, a Tron roller coaster, which I hope some of you have had a chance to experience.
I like Tron.
You go to Animal Kingdom. We opened the world of Pandora with arguably one of our coolest attractions, Flights of Passage.
Flight of Passage is amazing.
Disney Hollywood Studios. We built a massive new land based on Star Wars, which is incredibly popular. And then even at Epcot, it's totally transformed with a new attraction there called Guardians of the Galaxy, which is now one of our top attractions literally around the world.
That is the best ride. I gotta say, that is the best one. To be fair, though, Epcot is very different from all the other parks. Epcot is not a park where you could probably put like a themed land. Like, you have the countries and then put a ride in the country that's themed with that country. But other than that, yeah, Epcot's a little different. But
my point is that we're constantly investing for the long term, fortifying each one of our theme parks to make sure that our destination stays together as a whole. Okay. And that's worked incredibly well for us. What that all means is, if
what does it mean?
Something is built new in Central Florida, like Epic Universe, and if it brings in additional tourists, I can almost guarantee you that new tourist coming into the market is going to have to visit the Magic Kingdom.
Why?
They got to go on Tron. They're not going to miss Star Wars at Hollywood Studios. They're absolutely getting on Guardians of the Galaxy and Epcot.
Listen, when he's risen up Guardians, it just makes me smile. They got to go on Guardians. That's what I say. Like, you have to get on Guardians. Like, there's no way about it. Like, you have to get on Guardians. So, I mean, to be fair, he's kind of right? But then again, if you're making a trip out of coming to Orlando, how are you going to map this out? Are you only going to go to Universal Parks? Are you just going to go to Epic and then go to Disney? So, I mean, he might have a point there where maybe, okay, I just want to go to Epic Universe. Let me go to Epic Universe, and then I can go to Disney and I can experience both. So, I mean, that is kind of the, you could do that.
And I am going to get on that Flight of Passage attractions. And so that 4-park ecosystem holds together very well. And again, we're very clear on what we're trying to do here. So now we talk about the Q2 earnings. You saw the results. They were
AB is sporadic because AB comes and goes.
Were phenomenal for Q2, and Hugh talked about the forward bookings in Q3 and Q4 being very strong. So our strategy is working. One of the things that gets discussed quite a bit in groups like this is how you think about cannibalization. Well, if something new is going to be built, then something must be cannibalized. Based on our results, based on the forward bookings, that cannibalization is not coming from us. And so, again, we have a very solid strategy.
Oh, cannibalism not from us.
Strategy in place, always on the offensive.
Is that SeaWorld then? He might be talking about SeaWorld. I mean, he doesn't know, you know what I mean? But you think people make a vacation and do both? Not everything feels the need to hit all 4 or 3 parks, so they split it up. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, they're like, okay, we've been to Magic Kingdom so many times, all right? It's Magic Kingdom. We know what it is, right? But we'll go to Hollywood, and then we'll go to Epic Universe, and then hit. Yeah, so they probably mix it up. Especially the out-of-towners, like people who don't have, I mean, and they might have annual passes already. So that's the other thing. There's people that live in other states that have annual passes. So they just buy Epic Universe, come here, get the hotel, and then they can just ride. They can just come here and do whatever because they have annual passes. So, but I think for the most part, I think there is a lot of people that don't have passes. So then yeah, they definitely aren't going to SeaWorld. Let's just say that. I would skip SeaWorld and do other stuff unless you have an affinity for animals, but then you have Animal Kingdom, but a whole nother story.
And as our investment plan, as you see our investment plan in the future, you'll notice that that'll continue.
we talk about macro for a second? Because you're
Sure.
right. The earnings and the forward booking, really helped dispel worries we all had about the macro and what was happening. But can you talk a bit, if you haven't seen any weakness to date, is there anything that you're doing now to get ahead of any potential weakening of consumer, given where consumer confidence is? So what are you doing forward action to pretty much potentially mitigate any softening that could happen?
Yeah. Let me dwell on the positive just for one more
you're a
moment,
positive person,
if I can.
Ooh, my booty. Epic Universe will be pulling guests from Disney or islands. Epic is definitely going to pull people from somewhere, right? So it really depends on the person. There's going to be a group, there's going to be a family. All right, we're going to take a summer vacation. We can go to these parks. What do you guys want to go? Definitely want to go to Epic Universe, right? So that means we either are adding a day to do all the other parks that we normally do and then add Epic, or we have to lose something, right? Especially now in this economy, whatever it is. So one park probably has to give, and depending on what their status is, whether or not they're already pass holders, whether or not they want to do multiple days, whether or not they're staying on site, if they're staying on Disneyland property, if they're staying, on a regular like rinky-dink hotel off of 192, or something like that, which is nowadays, I mean, those hotels are at least $100 now when they used to be like $50. So really, Disney actually has one of their resorts that are $100 a night. So technically, you could probably just stay on that resort and stay on property and be able to do anything there, and then just hop over to Epic Universe on your like last day or something, right? So it could be. I think if anything, I think either Magic Kingdom or Universal, I think those main ones are probably the ones that people would skip the most, because those are the ones that everyone goes to, and it's just the same. It's standard, you know what I mean? So I feel like those are the two that people would, but again, it's up to everyone. Everyone's different. So honestly, it could be a mixture of a bunch of different things. I don't know as far as majority, but I would say if they're going to Epic, they're definitely going to go Epic. Islands of Adventure is probably going to be another one if they're going to do more thrill-seeking rides. But if not, if they have like younger kids or whatever, then they'll probably do Disney instead. So it just depends on like their type of dynamic, their family dynamic.
The results in Q2 were pretty phenomenal, as I said. If you look at domestic parks and experiences,
yeah, just keep talking about the second quarter.
OI growth year over year. Consumer products, 14% growth in OI.
Well, I always like how they talk about, I know I keep stopping. This is like a 40-minute video, a 40-minute thing that we've dragged on forever. I always love how they talk about, year after year, 15% growth, 50%. You know there's going to be a plateau, right? Eventually, there's not going to be any growth, and that's when the investors are really going to be like, what happened? How come we're not growing? Well, everything has a limit, guys, okay? So something's going to have to give. You can always talk positive. Families with kids that are gamers, Potterheads, I love Train to Drag, Universal is going to get it. Yeah, I also think adults are going to draw monsters in Super Nintendo World. Yeah, but I agree. Families with youngins will be drawn to Disney. Yeah, I think with younger kids, they'll be drawn to Disney. Like I would say like under 5 or 6. Under 5 or 6 will probably be more towards Disney. Anybody older than that, the kids will love Isle of Berk. They're gonna love Nintendo World especially. So I think under like 5 or 6 is probably that's what I'm thinking.
Year over year. And then again, the forward bookings, particularly in Florida, where we can see how the consumer is responding and if there are any changes in trajectory, very strong as well. So we feel good where we stand. That said, we're always looking for indications in the market of fluctuations or change. We do this all of the time. We are so much more sophisticated now than we were a year ago, 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago, in terms of our commercial capabilities and our operational capabilities. We were able to.
Yeah, because we had COVID, and then everything changed, and then now you cut half the staff, and you're still working at as much as you want. That makes sense.
To sense changes in consumer behavior very, very early. Part of this is based on the fact that we have date-based tickets in place, a lot of hotel inventory, so we can see early if there's an issue there. We're much more sophisticated in our pricing and promotional models, so we can dial promotions up and down when we need to against specific segments.
That is actually a good point, because after COVID, everything changed. You don't need as much staff for certain days, so you're able to. That is a good point, because now that everything is booking related, where you have to book the dates exactly on the days that you want to go, you can actually predict how many employees you need that day, so you'll be able to be more cost effective for certain days, or you don't have to overcompensate employees or anything like that. You're not over putting employees in spaces that they don't need to be and stuff. So I mean, yeah, that is a good point, but like I said, yeah, of course, COVID changed everything. You did a lot of cutting, and now you're using all these digital things to predict future growth and in future attendance, so that way you can better maintain your cost.
If we're sensing the need to do that. And then operationally, because we have this foresight, because we can see what's happening with the market, we're able to focus on the middle of the P&L and manage costs in much more granular detail than we've ever been able to do before. So the answer to your question is, we're watching all of the time, and we're preparing all of the time. The way I think about it now is we have a dashboard with so many buttons and knobs that we're constantly fine-tuning to react to what we're seeing in the broader macro marketplace.
Just a quick follow-up. You mentioned the cost structure. Any impact from tariffs or any trade pressures on the cost structure that you're seeing right now?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think like any big company that has a global supply chain, we anticipate there's some impacts, but we're monitoring this closely, and I've got a great team looking at that.
Hey, Josh, so there's been lots of discussion around the accessibility of a Disney vacation for the average family in America. Can you share your thoughts on pricing at the parks and any new strategies to make family visits more affordable, especially given the current macro backdrop?
Yeah, so I'll start with something that I think about every single day, and that is, how do we create experiences and pricing structures and optionality to invite as many families as possible into these experiences.
Yeah.
I grew up with these experiences. They're important to me, and that's kind of my mission, is to invite as many as I can. When we think about this subject, pricing and value, the first place that I start is value. What is it that we're actually offering the guests?
And let me tell you right now, I'm sorry. Amber's going to hate me with this, but how do you say something without saying anything? Yeah, basically. The pricing right now for some of the parks are not value. Animal Kingdom is not value. I'm just saying. That should be like $120. Just saying.
And you have to stop and think about the product that we're talking about here. This is Disney, right? So there are very few places in the world where you can have a 10, 12, 16-hour experience, have the best stories that have ever been told on full display in front of you, attractions that will blow your mind, Broadway-style entertainment, an array of food that's spectacular. You can meet all...
Whoa. What kind of food are you talking about? Because the pizza I had at Hollywood Studios was not great. I will tell you that, sir.
Of your favorite characters in person, and you can go home after a beautiful fireworks show at night. There's literally nothing like it in the world. And we're always making sure that we are delivering value to every single guest that comes into one of our experiences or theme parks. And we know that we are, because that's what they tell us. We measure a lot of things. I can tell you, what every guest leaving one of our theme parks is feeling. So we feel very good about the value that we deliver in all of our experiences around the world. On a more tactical level, the way that we think about pricing and the offerings that we have is, I want to have as much flexibility as I possibly can. I want the consumer to be able to choose when they come, how they take in these experiences, where they stay, where they eat. As an example, you can still go to Disneyland today for $104. which is the same price it was in 2018 or
How? Why? Why do you think I'd hate you saying that? I agree. You agree that okay, that's fair.
or 2019.
The reason I was saying that is because Animal Kingdom is there's not okay. The worst way I can say that is it's a half-day park. Okay, that's why I say it should be cheaper. I mean, but to be fair, all the parks should be cheaper. And Magic Kingdom should be at most $150, and all the other ones should be below that. Definitely. One thing you love about BG and SeaWorld is that they try to make their parks affordable. That is the one thing. Their parks are very affordable, but the other flip side of that is that it actually shows why they're affordable with certain things that they kind of mess up on.
You can still stay in a value hotel at Walt Disney World, which is very affordable. Of course, there's a suite you could go stay at if you choose. But what I'm trying to do is give as much flexibility, as much optionality as I can to our guests. Now, of course, costs are increasing. We all know that, and I have a responsibility to the Disney company and to our investors to make sure that we're very thoughtful about those costs.
Oh, he actually said it. He's like, look, I work for Disney and the investors. Like, I got to make them happy. You keep saying it's a half-day park even though you couldn't do everything in half a day. Listen, that's because I don't get there when it opens. They open at 8 a.m., okay? I don't want to go there at 8 a.m. It's too early. If I went there at 8 a.m., I could be out by 1. Because it would be just too hot. I don't know. It's not a half-day park. I'm messing with you. But yeah, it is kind of a half-day park.
But we keep the same frame in mind. Deliver great value. Think about pricing and promotion strategies that allow that level of flexibility for our guests to decide when to come and what to experience. And I think we're doing a really nice job of that.
Can I get a better discount, though, on my annual pass? Can I use that on food or something? Like,
maybe just a quick follow-up there. When you think about the balance, right, the goal to keep crowds limited, wait times lower, but keep that guest experience as high as possible, how does pricing play into that?
Well, I'll start with the fact that we are watching very closely what our guests are telling us. I can tell you on any day of the year at a specific attraction, at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, what a guest is telling us based on their experience.
Oh, so he plays Planet Coaster. He plays Planet Coaster. You should have saved my lies for you.
What that means then is we can define thresholds inside of the theme park that tell us what the attendance levels should be, what the ride per cap, the number of rides that our guests are getting on, can be at those attendance levels.
So you heard it here first. So they're lying about queue line wait times in the app.
And when guests leave the park, are they going to still be advocates? Are they going to go out and say they want to come back again? Will their intent to return be high? So we're watching all of that very closely. One of the things that I think we've done very well through our pricing strategies is we've taken seasonality, which used to look like a heart rate monitor, and we've flattened that out. So in periods of lower demand, we've offered more flexible pricing to, again, invite those families in and fill the demand up. And in periods where we have an incredible amount of demand coming at one specific day, we obviously use pricing levers to maximize the value for that day and also control crowding.
You teased this earlier about cruises and ships and your plans. So
Please
Disney
don't.
Cruise Lines is experiencing enormous growth. You can double the number of ships to 13.
Yeah, why?
In time.
Ask him why.
So how should investors be thinking about the financial benefits as the new ships ramp up, including you have 2, Destiny and Adventure? And what gives you confidence that the growth in your cruise business is sustainable?
I'm incredibly excited about the cruise space. This goes back to 1998 when, before Disney was involved with the cruise space, it was not really a family vacation type. This was for a little bit older clientele. And we came in and we knew that if we took our stories, our intellectual property, if we operated these cruise ships like a theme park, the same level of guest service that we've developed over all these years of operating theme parks. And we built elegant ships that were incredibly fun, that we could create a new space for us in the cruise industry. And in fact, that's what happened. These ships now are amongst the highest rated experiences that we deliver.
I hope so, because they're expensive.
The experiences are magnificent. The demand against the ships is very high, which means there's a following rate associated with that. And the repeat level and the ecosystem impact from the cruise ships is pretty phenomenal, which is why we went from those 2 ships back in 1998 to now 6 ships that are in the water, Michael, with 2 more coming, as you just mentioned. These ships have double-digit rates of return, and we expect that will continue. The other thing that we've realized with the cruise ships is they are the best ambassadors for our brand that you can possibly think of. When we take one of our ships to a new port, there's an immediate reaction, an elevation of the brand, and access to these experiences that we're able to deploy physically in many places.
I could care less about the cruise ships,
an example
honestly.
Of that. The Disney Adventure, which
that's an Amber rant. That is an Amber rant.
It will launch it.
That is alert, an Amber rant. That is an Amber rant. That is an Amber rant. Let's see. Yeah, it was a mini one.
Bruh.
Bruh.
At the end of the year, it will be sailing out of Singapore. We put that ship on sale.
Listen, it probably has my favorite show with a Festival of the Lion King, okay? So, and probably my top 3 favorite rides at Disney, which is Flight of Passage. So it gets a pass sometimes.
And within a day and a half, 3 months of inventory completely gone. So this is a testament to the fact that the Disney brand is strong, that this cruise business works exceptionally well for us. So I think our investors should have high expectations of us. We have those expectations of ourselves, and I'm very confident in what we're able to deliver here. One more note on the cruise space.
Let's not talk about the cruises anymore.
Doubling your fleet, it sounds like a big deal, and it is for us. But if you look at it in the context of the cruise industry, we're still only going to be single-digit market share. So we have plenty of opportunity, I believe, even beyond where we are now.
Oh, please. No more ships.
Let's go more global.
No more ships.
On the cruise ship idea. So you have a more balanced global portfolio today. You know, we talked about at the beginning that the 6 locations around the world before Abu Dhabi. And you've already announced significant international investments as well.
Welcome in.
So maybe just kind of bigger picture, how would you characterize the success of your international parks to date? And maybe even talking about Disneyland Paris, you acquired full ownership. So help us think about how international fits into.
They got full ownership of Disneyland Paris.
First, it's been great to diversify our portfolio from domestic parks to an international footprint.
You need to diversify your bonds. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang.
And all of our theme parks have performed exceptionally well. And the more we deploy experiences internationally, the better that we get at it. We know there's a brand elevation impact, and we know that there's a return, a healthy return associated with these international parks. Shanghai Disney Resort's a great example of this, by the way. So after 50 years or so of experience running theme parks, we had an opportunity to build our newest theme park in Shanghai. And it incorporates all of those learnings from each of the theme parks that we had operated before. So the makeup of the park, the way the guests flow through the park, the way that we've laid out the attractions and the shows are all optimized.
Shanghai's animatronics are amazing. They're amazing.
it was kind of the next generation theme park.
I don't know where they're
when we
getting
built
them
it.
from.
And you see the reaction from the fans and the way that they're using the park, and you see the reaction from a volume and revenue standpoint as well. So we're feeling very good about our international portfolio. In fact, 2024 record operating income for our international park. So we're bullish on continuing to invest in these assets, and I think Abu Dhabi is obviously an addition there.
Awesome. Okay, so put this in perspective. You've joined Disney over 26 years ago, and you've been through various creative and economic cycles, plus a pandemic to boot, right? So how have you maintained focus and aligned your business with leadership across the company through all these various periods, right? So talk about how you've approached connecting to the mothership during all these different types of cycles.
It'll actually be 27 years in July at the Disney company, and it feels like it went by in a moment because I've had an opportunity over those 27 years to be in different parts of the world, to be in different disciplines, different segments within Disney. And I think I've been very fortunate in that regard to have had an opportunity to, connect with and meet a lot of our executives and understand the different businesses, which makes it a bit easier to navigate and keep connected with the rest of the company so that we can generate the experiences that we're generating and the returns ultimately that we're generating. I think I'll start by answering that question in the sense that I'm so proud to work for the Walt Disney Company. I don't think there is any other company like the Walt Disney Company.
2 hours later.
The intellectual property that we have, the way that we tell stories, the collection of businesses that we have. And it means something to people around the world. And that's important because I think our North Star, the vision that we have, the mission that we have at the Walt Disney Company is always long-term in nature. And so when you come across a pandemic or you come across an economic cycle that challenges the business, we have always kept our eyes on that North Star, kept investing from a theme park and cruise perspective, kept in tune with the consumer and where they're heading, and pivoting the businesses where we need to pivot the businesses. And again, I don't think that there are a lot of companies that have been around for 100 years that are able to be as resilient and flexible and long-term focused as we have been. And I'm proud to be a part of that. I think.
What about Harley Davidson?
What I'm excited about. Listen, the last 2.5 years or so at the company, we made a lot of progress. When Bob got back, he outlined 4 very clear priorities for his team to follow. Let's get streaming where it needs to be. Let's bring ESPN into the digital age. Let's make great movies, and let's turbocharge this Disney experience business. The progress against each one of those tracks is phenomenal, I think.
Let's make great movies.
All of us at Disney are very proud of where we stand as a company. I think we're bullish on the future. And I think it positions us incredibly well for the future. As consumers continue to change in terms of how they're consuming content, what types of experiences they're looking for. I think, like I said, we're on solid ground, and we've demonstrated our ability to flex and move and set ourselves up well for the future. And I just feel lucky to be a part of that.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. This is probably a tough question because I'm sure you can't pick your favorite child, but with so much going on with the parks around the world and all the different investments.
What's your favorite?
Like, just the follow-up question would be, what are you most excited about, like, given all the different growth initiatives within the parks?
That is an unfair question. We probably have an Imagineer or two who's listening, or one of our presidents of the theme parks. I can't pick one. I mean, there's just so much good happening around the world.
Just pick one.
You have the biggest expansion
Don't be a
ever
wuss.
taking place at the Magic Kingdom. Disneyland has a Disneyland Forward initiative, so expanding the footprint of what we can build at Disneyland. All of our international parks are undergoing massive expansion. I will be heading out right after this trip to Germany to check out our 2 new ships. which will be hitting the seas at the end of this year. I'm excited about where we're heading from a digital perspective. I think our relationship with Epic Games continues to strengthen and
Do we have
give us
anything
more
on that?
ambition for pushing into this space. So there is so much to be excited about. I'm not going to pick one because I'd get myself in trouble.
I'll get myself in trouble.
For having me. It's great to be here.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he would get himself in trouble. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's good corporate speak, but some of the things weren't really wrong. Have to get up early for work tomorrow. Oh yes, I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. But yeah, I mean, it's good corporate speak, but there were some things that made sense, and some of it sounds good. Some of it is obviously just, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that you're never on the defensive. You're always on the offensive. I mean, it's tough because with Disney being so big, it is hard to always have something new that's happening. But to be fair, they already knew that Epic Universe was going to happen, so they should have had something else in place. They should have had something a little bit more in place instead of rebuilding at the time that Epic Universe is coming out. But also it could be a strategy to where it's like, okay, they're new. Give them their little moment to give us time to build our stuff, and then that way we can outpace them for future, right? So I mean, it could kind of make sense in that regard. But what's the latest on Disney Fortnite? February? I don't see really any other news. There's just nothing else. They have characters, okay? Link your My Disney and Epic Games accounts to unlock a free First Order Stormtrooper. Okay, that's kind of cool. Look at that. That's cool. Okay, I like that. Play Fortnite BR, Star Wars Season. Speak with Darth Vader in Fortnite. Here you go, guys. Here you go. What AI models are used for Darth Vader? The dialogue is generated by Google's Gemini 2.0 Flash model. This was such a good idea. It was so awesome that they did that, but now they have to fix it. It's so great. I don't think they did get the results they wanted when they built MGM Studios to compete with Universal. Yeah, I can see that. Who can talk to Darth Vader? During Fortnite Galactic Battle, the first team to recruit Darth Vader in battle can match with him. How can parents enable their child to talk? What happens when my voice audio? See, something like that is kind of cool. See, I didn't even know that this right here. Okay, I see what they're doing. They're getting characters in there. They're probably all right. Pay me a percentage, all that stuff. So, I mean, but other than that, they haven't really announced like a lot of major things for that. You know what I mean? But this was a good interview. I mean, I liked to listen to it, but also, I did have my criticisms, to be fair. But I mean, everything he said was kind of, for the most part, it's all right. It's not, which is why I don't like those little cheap shot articles. Lower this a little bit. I usually don't like those cheap shot articles where it's like Disney says they're on the offensive, they're never on the defensive, but they have stuff closed. Like, okay, yeah, they have stuff closed. All right, that's a point. All right, I get that, but granted, they should have been building this before, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't always always have this, and this, you know. But I mean, they should have planned ahead. But I get it. Okay, I'm not trying to be on anyone's side. I'm trying to be impartial about everything. They should have done this a little quicker. I will say that. They should have built these things a lot quicker. Stop retheming things and just build. You just said you have so much property, you have so much land. Why are you taking down things in order to re-add things and calling it new, right? So that is a pet peeve of mine. But having said that, I mean, I don't like the cruises. But overall, I mean, it was all right. It wasn't too bad. It's an okay interview. And that interview probably took us like an hour to get through at the very least. Disney also took a financial hit, Disney Plus. Oh, yeah. Disney Plus definitely took a hit. And the Disney movies, like the Marvel movies, are taking hits too. Like they're losing money with the exception of the parks and probably the cruises, I would think. I think the cruises are probably making money, but the parks are their staple. So it's like you want to push your parks, man. You want to push all that stuff. So, but it's interesting. It's an interesting read. I mean, yeah, most of it was corporate speak, so I get that. Most of it was corporate speak. But what are you gonna do about the guy who wants Bob Iger's job? You know, I mean, you gotta. It does kind of stink because you want them, just say it. Just Oh, I was muted. Did we learn anything from him? Yeah, we learned that he could speak around the question and that he gives corporate speak. Pretty much. And that's really what's funny is that's what usually these media conference questions are. It's just like, hey, how you doing? How have you been doing with the parks? What do you see for yourself in the future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, like all that stupid interviewing questions that you get when you get a job. That's basically what it is. So really, you weren't really learning anything. You're learning how Josh knows how to speak around questions and know how to speak to people who give them softball questions, basically. But he's not gonna tell you, oh well, how do you deal with people getting off the ride when they're not supposed to and trying to find their hat in Tiana's, how do you stop? What a good question. How do you deal with Epic Universe's issue where it's just become a wino country for older people to just act crazy and just think they can do whatever they want and run around and yelling and jumping into pools and fountains? How do you combat that? Which is really, he can't answer because he's not there every day. All the young kids and everyone that work there, they're the ones that have to deal with it. So really, it's the managers of those. It's like supervisors and all that stuff, And that's his scapegoat. He's like, yeah, I don't do, but we gotta better train our people. We gotta make sure that they're on top of things. All that dumb stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, tomorrow around noonish Eastern, somewhere around that, we'll stream during the day from here, and then at night we're gonna go to Epcot, and we'll be hanging out at Epcot tonight. Probably watch Luminous and all that stuff. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.